Hey everybody, welcome to the Packet Pushers YouTube channel. I'm Drew Conry-Murray here with Ethan Banks. We're just having a chat. Ethan was at Network Field Day 39, talked to Graphiant, or heard from Graphiant, Nokia, and Cisco. So we're just going to have some conversations about all the things that Ethan learned while he was there. This episode is about Nokia. And, you know, I think lots of people listening think of Nokia as that router company for service providers, but they're making a concerted effort to get inside your data center, the enterprise data center. So what are they doing on that front, Ethan?
Well, yeah, I mean, you think of them as a service provider, kind of a network carrier, but then phones, right? We all talk about the Nokia phones. That's been the running joke. Oh, Nokia, don't you guys make the phones? That indestructible phone I had back in the day. Yes, that was also us. You know, it's like they've heard it a million times.
They're like,
now,
we did too good a job on those phones.
Could you shut up about the phones? Oh, but yeah, I mean, just to underscore that point, I mean, you guys, if you've been watching Packet Pushers closely, you know Nokia's done a bunch of work with us as well, and that is similar to the conversation that they were having with those of us that attended this Networking Field Day event. Hey, we're not making network gear just for the carrier space. We are making network gear that is a very good fit for your data center, and maybe a good fit for your enterprise. But they're very serious about that. They've leaned hard into their SR Linux operating system, into doing things with automation. They've got some public domain, open source, public domain. I mean. But open source.
Are you in like
software.
A cover band or something, Ethan? You have to worry about public domain.
So, but Container Lab. I mean, if you're a lab enthusiast for networking, you can't have not run across Container Lab from Nokia at this point. Yeah. You can do a lot with that, including building out digital twin kind of things, which is something Nokia does. And then EDA, their event-driven automation, that is not an open source tool, but it is a multi-vendor platform that we've demonstrated on this YouTube channel in a variety of ways that they are using to deliver network automation to not just Nokia gear running SR Linux or SROS, but to multi-vendor now. That is where they're going and what's happening.
Okay, so let me back up a step. EDA is this software platform that they've put out for managing a data center network?
Yeah, it stands for event-driven automation, and it is for exactly that. You can manage, you can roll out complex network topologies with EDA using their models, their framework, and so on. You don't have to log into every device to deploy, say, an EVPN fabric. You can describe what it is that you're looking for, and leveraging, again, their models. They have a way of doing it. And if you look at some of the demos that are actually on this channel, we show how some of that happens. But it's going to generate all the configuration and all the code to go on all like a series of leaf and spine switches to deliver the result, the outcome that you're looking for in that data center. I now have a working EVPN fabric. Huzzah! With you still having to do a bunch of work on the front end to describe what it is you're looking for.
Okay.
And so on, but then it's going to take that model and then turn it into code that gets pushed down into all of the switches to deliver that architecture that you've designed.
Now, is this just a provisioning tool, or do I also use it for monitoring and ongoing management?
You can use it for monitoring and ongoing management. In some of the demo stuff that we've looked at, it will show you in real time what's going on. EDA is consuming GNMI telemetry in real time, and so you can see what's happening on the network. You can get as crazy granular detailed monitoring things as you want. You can go nuts with it. But yeah, it also handles what's going on in the network in real time and making sure that the network reflects the state that you intended and and those kind of things.
All right, so you just hit a trigger word. Should I be thinking of EDA like the way Juniper positions Apster as an intent-based automation platform, meaning that it's designed to help me keep my network functioning in a state that I intended, with me doing mostly a lot of hands-off?
Now you're going to make me commit to are they closed loop or not. Geez, Drew. And the answer is yes, I believe so, but I'm not. That is a nuance. And it's an important nuance that I don't have off the top of my head, whether or not they do the closed loop piece.
Closed loop meaning they will
enforce in
recognize
real
there was
time
a need for a change, push the change, and then double check the change had the intended outcome that you wanted.
That for sure. But it's been a while since we've talked to the Apstra guys, but I know Apstra, if a cowboy went in and manually changed something on a switch, Apstra would detect that and make the change go back to where it was, which a lot of platforms do, like Glueware does that, and I forget who all does that at this point. But that's a pretty normal thing. Is EDA doing that at this point? Again, that's a nuance that it's not the thing that's top of mind for me to remember that they did or didn't do that specific piece of things. But I want to say yes. But
if they're not, it seems like they could take it in that direction, given where they are.
They could take it in that direction. I mean, the big thing here is that it is able you got to think of EDA as a platform, and you got to think of it as a multi-vendor network automation platform that was designed from the ground up to have a model-like abstraction layer between you and the underlying infrastructure, so that you don't have to know the configuration nuances of delivering. I'll just keep using EVPN fabrics as an example, because it's a complicated thing to deliver that service. There's a lot of layers to it. It's not just like, hey, we're going to start routing MAC addresses on BGP right now. That's the smallest part of it. You have to actually deliver a whole lot more to make all of that happen, particularly when you get into multi-tenancy. EDA will do all of that for you, and as they're beginning to add new vendors that they support, you don't have to care that it's I'm trying to remember all the people that they support.
I think it's NXOS and an EOS, Arista EOS, And these are new, right? Cisco and Arista are new to the EDA model.
They are. It's a big thing. Well, it was news to me. I don't know when it was announced officially, but I hadn't heard that they were supporting anybody other than their own gear. Until this discussion at Networking Field Day here recently. That was held, what is this? This is November? Yeah, I think it was November 2025 that NXOS and EOS came to the party. And what's intriguing here is I asked these guys, hey, well, how long does it take you to actually build out the abstraction layer so that you can support this functionality on other vendors? And they're like, it's not that big of a deal. It's like a few weeks. Like, okay. Like, really? And they're like, no, it's not that bad. But I don't want to make it sound too easy, because it actually kind of sucks, because every vendor's got their own interface and their own models so if you want to interact with their stuff and deploy some particular service on there, you as in this case, Nokia as the vendor, the people that are writing the abstraction layers for EDA need to know all the nuances of the different models and what's supported and what's not supported and how to actually write the configuration onto those devices. That's a thing that is something that can be done, but it's not years to get to the point where they can deliver that service on a new vendor. It's weeks. So that's significant.
Yeah.
That is significant.
So that's one of those things where if a customer comes along to Nokia and is like, hey, love EDA, I'm on this platform, let's get to work on that NOS. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I think it's really smart of Nokia to make this a multi-vendor platform, because, honestly, at this point, they are not a significant player in enterprise data center, so they can't assume they're just going to walk into an environment where it can be all SR Linux. So it makes sense, if they've got real value in EDA, that they can use that as a kind of leverage point to get themselves into an organization.
I like them I like the way they do things. I like their approach. They are to me, it's like an automation first platform. Not that SR Linux as a command line is terrible. It's not like working with, well, to be fair, I've only seen little bits of Sonic, and I went in like, what is happening right now? This is not what, and it's like, because you don't actually want to be in the command line, Ethan. You actually want to be out here using an automation layer that's going to talk to that stuff. Don't just get out of there. And I don't know, maybe Sonic's not that bad, or it's changed a lot. I know that's a rapidly evolving project, so I'm sorry if I just offend someone and someone's going, well, actually, okay, because in fairness with Sonic, I mostly don't know what I'm talking about.
Leave it in the comments. We'd love the well, actually.
Exactly. Leave it in the comments. But SR Linux is lovely, as a command line interface. Genuinely, it is genuinely lovely and intuitive, and not the same thing you've seen before all the time. It doesn't look just like Cisco or EOS or Junos. It's its own thing, but it's not unpleasant to work with at all. But you can interact with it programmatically, and that feels like more like what you want to do. You don't want to be thinking of command line individual boxes anywhere in your network, whether it's Nokia or not. But if you do go the Nokia way, that's, to me, kind of how these boxes are meant to be interacted with. They're really very modern in the approach. GNMI, gRPC, that we were talking earlier about, will EDA tell me in real time what's going on? Yeah, using GNMI, using gRPC, the Nokia will take, the EDA platform will take streams coming inbound with all of that telemetry, and then again tell you in real time what's going on, and you can build a query of what it is you're looking for using. They have their own interface called EQL. What does E stand for in EQL? QL is query language. So what is E? I don't remember anymore. But you can put into EQL what you're looking for and allow you to walk an object tree of all the different things that are in that telemetry that you might want to know. And it's just going to sit there and show you in real time what's coming on based on the telemetry that's coming into the platform. Way better than a polling cycle. I just, having lived in the world of SNMP, which still works. We're all still using SNMP. But when you can get to that real-time stuff coming out of the network and knowing right now exactly what's going on and what's happening, that is way more, again, modern, much more interesting. And that EDA just deals with that, not a problem.
So you said there's a query language I have to use, which I assume is fairly straightforward, but potentially some friction there for me learning it. Is there an LLM front end at this point? Because everybody's adding one of those to their automation platforms.
Well, just to address the friction on the query language itself, not that bad. Reasonably intuitive, not that bad. And I believe the interface will help you actually build the query. And there was a query builder, as I recall. Is there natural language? Scrolling. Were you setting me up because you already know the answer from my notes? Because I'm trying to remember.
I can read your notes too. And I did.
I want to say yes. Is that right or not yet?
I think my understanding is that they are heading towards the agentic AI model with LLM front ends and individual agents to be able to do stuff. But right now it's still a work in progress and something coming down the pipe. I could be wrong about that, but
They are coming there. The natural language is there. As I'm going back to my notes. Here we go again. But yes, you're going to be able to ask things like, list me my all the interfaces that are running on an SR Linux box and get that kind of information back out of it with plain language. Yeah, that's happening. Is it a work in progress? Yes, they are developed just like every other vendor right now. Anybody that's telling you, we've got this robust and mature natural language interface, they friggin' don't. They don't. I've worked with some of them. They don't. Not useful? Absolutely. Robust and mature and does all the things you might think of? Not yet. Hang on. They'll get there. Yeah. But yes, that is there. I think they've got it. They call it the Ask EDA interface, and which has context. So the keyword here, context, that matters. That is, you don't want to ask a natural language interface about your network without that context. You when you ask question 1 and get an answer back, you ask question 2. Which is going to be based on whatever happened in question 1, and you want the AI to know that. You don't want the AI to be starting all over again from scratch, where it's like, oh, I needed to ask a more robust prompt. No. You want context. That's what you're looking for.
So they've got layers of context, so I can ask X questions deep in a session, and it understands that I'm referring to something that I may have asked 2 or 3 questions ago.
Yes, yeah, you're looking for that. So you stay in the Ask EDA interface. Your context stays with you. So now you ask follow-up questions, and it remembers the whole context. It understands the conversation, and it flows much more naturally that way. And that's a win. Okay, now let me ask you a provocative question. I want to get your take on this. So I have theorized, postulated, proposed that the natural language interface will actually replace the CLI at some point, but not entirely replace, but more or less, I'm not going to interact with the CLI hardly, or I'm going to use a natural language interface. Do you think that's potentially true?
I do think that's absolutely where things are headed. I don't know how long it will take until we get there, or how long it will be until, sort of the current generation of network engineers are comfortable with that. But, people studying for their CCNA now are probably going to be like, yeah, why don't I just ask it instead of doing these complicated CLI queries?
Yes, you just hit the thing that is making me feel strongly about this. I don't want to learn a domain-specific language so that I can have the stupid device or network as a whole, depending on how we're doing our queries, tell me what the BGP state of things is, or configure whatever it is I got to configure, because it's really different on Junos versus NXOS versus, et cetera. I don't want to have to cram all that syntax into my brain. I don't care. I just want to know the thing I want to know so that I can get to troubleshoot the thing or fix the thing, or, do I have any interfaces left that have been, that are available in this VLAN or whatever it is. There's a million reasons. I just want to ask the network and get an answer back, not be like, show VLAN, and, typing out this whole command. Like, crap, I'm not on a Cisco box, I'm on a Juniper box. That's why it errored out at me, because lost my... Natural language is it, man. For me, that is where I want to go. I don't have to learn domain-specific languages anymore. If the model I'm talking to has been trained appropriately, it's going to know what I'm talking about. It's going to make the correct inference, follow the path through the model, through the vector database, and give me what I'm looking for. And it'll work multi-vendor. It'll work in an environment that is made up of multi-vendor, not just across vendors, but in the same network that happens to use multi-vendors. I can get a holistic, cohesive answer. That should be cool. And then you made a point about a younger engineer, a junior engineer. I think you said something like that, which to me is like, that's a big deal. The barrier of entry to get into network engineering right now is so big because the solutions that we're delivering are so complicated, even just for a network. It's not like we have VLANs and then we have some routing and it's good and we're done here. No, this overlays and security paradigms going in, and we're bouncing things off of ice boxes and so on and so on. I want to not have to know so much esoterica just so that I can function as an engineer and deliver value to the business, where I've got to go through years and years and years of training and experience and certifications just to get to a point where it's like, oh, the business is having a problem. I know how. I am the oracle. I know how to query all of the interfaces, and I am your arbiter between this complex technology and the business. Why? Ugh.
Yeah, I think we're going to need to distinguish between like knowing CLI commands versus knowing what questions to ask of the network.
Yes.
That's what the issue is, yeah.
That is it. That is it. I want the training to be focused much more on the complexity of the solution as a whole and how it all works together, not how do I type this command to get some sort of a result that is contextless. So on NS for Networking, the podcast I record with Holly, we have this conversation that comes up a lot, and she has pointed out, she's gone through all these different training programs, and she's got all these different certifications, and she's like, I passed the exam, and now I'm certified, and I get to the end of it, and it's like, but I don't know why I would do this. Exactly. Right. That is network engineering in 2025 right now. Yeah. It is broken. We're teaching these young engineers coming into the field how to do something, but not why, not what it means, no big picture. And so there's these contextless domain specific language experts that are walking around like, I can configure EVPX I don't know how to design it for you or why you want to do it or what the things are I might trip over, but I can type the commands. That's not network engineering. We've lost that, or we're losing that. Maybe except at the expert level, and you got to be like deep in it at a company for some period of years and learning the hard lessons to understand all of the why. That's not cool. Businesses don't. That's not good for businesses. Yeah. I don't. You can see you.
I touched on a nerve. Yeah. Aren't we talking about Nokia?
Well, so Nokia, with EDA, with natural language processing, you can see where we're going here, where yes, there's still complexity, there's nuance, and you need to be a smart network engineer that's put some time into understanding what's going on. But we're getting away from some of the esoteric skills that were how we found our value at one point in time, and going, all right. You need to know how to build a thing and understand what it does, and the service that you're delivering, the nuances of how that service are being delivered. Let's just leave that to code. Let's leave that to an abstraction layer.
And if you're wondering about esoterica, there's still going to be plenty of it. Like looking at your notes, it seems like YAML's involved here to actually describe what it is you need. Like, so there's some esoterica. APIs are going to be part of this. So there's plenty of esoterica to go around.
Although we're getting to a point with LLMs where it's like they can crank out a starter YAML for you, for example. And it may not do everything you want. It may be only 80% right, at this point. But that technology is getting better too. We're gonna vibe code it, Drew. It's getting better. It's getting increasingly more useful. YAML is friggin' annoying. I will say that. I can't type. So I use NetLab. That's a network labbing platform.
Ivan Pepleniak's?
It's Ivan Pepleniak's labbing platform. Yeah, you express what you want the lab to be in YAML. I have to use a linter in a text editor because I can't get the white space right no matter what I do. It drives me nuts. I'm going down through and it's like, the linter goes like, red, this line's wrong. What? Well, you put a tab and it needs to be 2 spaces. Die. Just seriously. Go away. But that's it. But okay, wouldn't you rather have an LLM like, would you build me a YAML for EDA that does this as your starter, and then you tweak it as you need to get it done, so you're not fighting that kind of nonsense all the time? Why is that sort of complexity holding us back as network engineers? Like, well, that's how I find my value. I don't think that's how we as network engineers should be finding our value anymore.
Totally.
We need to know the big pictures. We really need to know the big ppictures and understand how to deliver that solution that matters to the business, as a big picture. And yes, we do have to know nuances. I'm not trying to diminish that.
Absolutely.
But the value is at the bigger picture level to me.
Yeah, the value is in really understanding the protocols, how they work, how they interact, all the layers that have to come together.
And Nokia is very modern, in this regard. They're doing all of that stuff, 100%. So there's a lot to like with the Nokia solution. They've been working with us as a sponsor too, Drew. It wasn't like, a lot of what they were talking about at this networking field day, we've heard it before. We've actually recorded either a podcast or a video with them to showing off some of these things. But to me, Nokia is one of the vendors, like, you want to see the future of network engineering? Yeah, Nokia is one of the companies where it's at. Not the only one, but they're one of the companies definitely where it's at.
So question for you then, because pretty much a data center switch, we all know the merchant silicon that's going to be inside the box. So what's the distinguishing thing to make me decide which platform I go with, aside from, the existing relationship I have with my current vendor? Why would I want to switch or try somebody new? And
you mean, would I pick a vendor based on what silicon they've put in the box?
No, what I'm saying is every vendor I go talk to is going to be using the same silicon. So essentially the hardware is the same. So where's the value prop? Is it in the NOS? Is it in the higher level,
it's in your
orchestration system?
It's in your operations. Yeah, 100%. Mm-hmm. What platform is going to allow me to streamline operations, stay ahead of things, maintain a robust configuration? Who is going to surface problems? Like if you're trying to differentiate in the different ecosystems that you can be in, what is AI actually doing for me? So one of the things to look for is proactive management. Is the AI that vendor is offering you surfacing something interesting that you wouldn't have known before? Gray failures, getting to a point of being predictive. And are they taking you on a path towards AI autonomy? Which I got asked a question at an event recently, what do I think the next big field for AI is? Well, we're getting agentic AI off the ground, and I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I think the answer is autonomy, where we are going to allow the agents to do things for us on the network. Is the platform being built in such a way that agentic AI is going to allow you to not entirely hand over your network operations to the AI, but to support you with some amount of autonomous operation, so that without you as a human having to be, holding the steering wheel, do things. It's going to be isolated tasks, things that are pretty, well understood by the business and common occurrences. But are they taking you down that road where that's a thing that you're going to be able to support network wide? That's it. It's about your operational experience in whatever capacity. I mean, I went way too far down the. Why is Banks talking about autonomy? He's way ahead of himself. I am way ahead of myself right now. But that's the direction. You want a platform that at some point you are going to be able to leverage that and take advantage of that technology. And if they've built the platform right, you're going to be able. You're not going to be there today, but you're going to see that you can get there. That is transformational for network operations, that kind of behavior where you're handing off a lot of the routine things that you see all the time to the AI. You want that. Part of the reason I say that, Drew, is the personnel problem that we have in network engineering, which that would be a whole separate conversation. But I think something I'm hearing from a whole bunch of people is like, it's a twofold problem with people. We don't have enough young people coming into network engineering as a discipline. They're doing other things in computer science and not network engineering. And then two, we're seeing not enough senior people that are still in the field. Companies are looking for AI to do things, not necessarily because we just want to replace all the headcount because computers are cheaper. It's not that. It's that there aren't any people. There aren't enough network engineers to go around to meet their needs. And so they're like, crap, if I can't hire anybody, I guess, hey, vendor, can you have an AI do some of this stuff for me? Because I'm having a really hard time finding people. And that's only going to get worse over time to me. So as a business, I'm looking for a platform that's going to be able to again, some of that AI autonomy. Does the platform that I'm buying from the vendor lend itself to, as time goes on and as the AI technology gets more mature, I can hand off some of this and take a burden off of my existing staff, have some of my operations be transformed and fully automated, in a way that keeps the business running without me having to hire these non-existent people.
Okay.
Was that what you wanted me to say?
Honestly, no. I wasn't trying to lead you anywhere, but I wasn't expecting an impassioned defense of, AI is coming. So,
it's not like I can say I'm 100% confident, right? Because neither of us are. You and I have talked about this. We were seeing good things happen with AI, but also it's like not there yet, right?
I also feel like AI is being used to sort of smear a whole bunch of different things. Like you can get network automation that doesn't really need AI. Like I'm thinking of like, there's product platforms out there. You can write scripts to do automation. It's not AI.
And most of network automation is not AI.
Yeah.
We go to AutoCon. We talk to vendors. We hear from people that are working from the platform. It's scripts and it's a variety of things. And AI is like the newcomer, where it's like, oh, wildcard, hadn't expected you. Hi, AI, what's going on?
Yeah.
And that is, but it is changing things. Everyone that's built an AI platform now is looking at AI going, I should probably be doing something with this. There's too much here to ignore this.
Yeah. So maybe AI is the impetus to help network engineering get into more automation, whether or not there's actually AI behind it.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe that's the answer.
Yeah.
So,
or an LLM front end and doing something else on the back end that's actually doing the automation.
So, okay. So we talked about a lot of things here. But to wrap it up from Nokia, I mean, there's a lot here. And if there's nothing else that you take away from this, if you're like, I'm getting ready for my next bake-off because it's time to do some renewals and it's, we got to get rid of this and we got to replace it with something, and if your brain isn't automatically going to the vendor you left and you're just going to buy them again and you're like, I'm open to new ideas. Nokia should be on your list. They're especially if you're looking to modernize your operations, they're just one of these vendors you should be talking to. Like, Ethan, they weren't on my radar at all. Well, we're here to help. That's
and you can go get a taste through Container Lab, which is a free open source project if you want to sort of introduce yourself to how Nokia does things.
and download SR Linux. There's a huge community built around that.
Yeah.
It costs you $0, and you can get yourself looking at Nokia and start to imagine from an engineering perspective how you would set up the bone stock standard things that you want to do. Do some VLANs and do some BGP and do some basic stuff and stand there and go, oh, okay.
And as you, the buyer, competition is your friend, so take advantage of it.
Exactly. That is again. That's a whole other conversation.
Here we go.
It's like, man. These guys want your business. You're like, it's going to be really expensive. I think you're sitting in you got power. You got power. You want to replace your existing vendor. Let's say it's Cisco and you've decided you don't want to go Cisco this next round. These other vendors would love to talk to you and have a serious conversation about this. Yeah. And they're not going to let money get in the way of establishing you as a customer. Let me put it to you that way. You're going to be able to find some deals, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Drew, we should shut up now. It's been a half an hour.
Yeah.
This is going to be a 10-minute conversation. What happened?
We promised ourselves 10 minutes, and then we knew it was a lie, but we did it anyway.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. And please, you can find out more on our YouTube channel. There's also tons of stuff, including podcasts over at packetpushers.net. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe and all that stuff. We are trying to grow this channel, have more of these conversations. So the like and subscribe thing, it's stupid the way the algorithm works, but you got to play the game. And so click the button and subscribe and tell your friends.
And well, actually us in the comments. We love it.
Yeah, we do. See you later, everybody.